Hi, I'm Catherine.
And I'm Lynn, and we are a coffee break
with Cat and Mom. Welcome back to our podcast. Today's episode 40-something, and today we are going to be talking about mental blocks and overcoming them and pretty much all aspects of life. But first, we're going to go into our week in review because we do that at the start of every episode. If you want to start.
My best friend Angie that we had interviewed, I think in season 1.
And that episode did very good in season 1, yeah.
We're trying to get her to come here, and she doesn't want to do it, but maybe I'll go and get her to say hi.
Yeah.
But anyways, she's watching football right now, and college football for that matter. But she is here. She got here a couple days ago, and then she's going to be here till she's here for a week. So it's very good for my soul, very good for my brain. And we're going out for dinner tonight after this. So
except I'm not because I'm exhausted. Clearly, we both got some sun. If you guys could see my back right now, it is scorched.
Well, we can see it here.
A bike this morning, my long bike, and my back was just exposed to the sun the whole time. And they went to the beach.
So yes, and I had lotion on, and it was just very comfortable. It was not even, it was hot, but it was not like middle of the summer hot. Like you can actually walk on this, on the sand without your flip flops.
Oh wow!
But the waves, actually, it's my first time going to the beach, and there was a purple flag, and red and purple. There was a lot of people surfing today, and we saw some pretty good guys that surfing, and there's a lot of younger kids too, boogie boarding for sure. But the purple flag is for dangerous dangerous wildlife.
Sea life.
Yeah, sea life.
Okay.
So that meant
or marine life.
Yeah, dangerous marine
That's
life.
really awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so might be some sharks, and so we were
probably I would say probably. I mean, jellyfish. Are jellyfish considered
manowar? I think that's what we call it. But yeah, they are actually. They can paralyze you depending on which kind. But it didn't specify which kind, so we didn't really go. But we went. And I ate one wave really hard that actually Angie, my best friend, was actually kind of stressed out a little bit. She couldn't find me because I washed so far down and I had to get out and come back. And then I couldn't get out right away because my bathing suit was down. So I had to put my bikini bottom back up.
It feels like you're going in through the washer.
It was terrible. Your sister got... she was bleeding on her back and stuff like that. It was pretty rough. The waves were rough.
Yeah, usually you listen to the flags and you don't go in.
But we didn't go that far. That's the thing. And then all of a sudden, one came up. So and we weren't ready for it. So
just praying the Ironman swim has 0 waves because I don't want to deal with that. But we are called a coffee break for a reason. Every episode we go to a small coffee shop and we review it, and then we come back and tell you guys how it is, which is literally what I just said. We review it. Jeez, cannot speak. But today, because it is fall, and I'm a festive person. It's
September 21st.
It's fall. I love fall. I love Christmas. And I love pumpkin spice. She does not like pumpkin spice. But today, we are reviewing, it's at Sprouts. It's Poppin' Bottle, and it's their pumpkin spice almond latte. Super good. Plant-powered. And no refined sugar and 60 milligrams caffeine.
Well, Sprouts is our natural food, whole food place. So,
and I saw these at Whole Foods, and I tried it. Their matcha and they have another vanilla almond latte, I think, and I love them. They don't hurt my stomach.
Good.
So I decided to try their new pumpkin spice flavor, and it was amazing. So it tastes literally like the Starbucks lattes, the pumpkin lattes.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not good. I just don't like pumpkin spice stuff.
She's just weird. She's not festive at all.
I make pumpkin bread, and I love it.
Yeah, you do need to make that.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for the holiday flavors, the Christmas flavors to come back.
Yes.
Which apparently, like I said in the last episode, I realized that the peppermint flavor at Starbucks is here all year round, and I thought it was just during Christmas. That was awesome. I might have to go get my peppermint latte there soon. Or my peppermint mocha. That's what
I'm sure they have it at other better local coffee shops. What's that?
Yeah. But there is the coffee shop that I mentioned last time that's in Port Salerno that looks so cute, and
we need to stop by there. Yes.
And then I also found out that Roasted Records, where I go to, they actually have cycling the cycling vest and the biker shorts.
Oh,
So that must be something that I don't know. They have a lot of people doing in the community that I didn't realize, but it has like their logo on it and everything. So I thought
that's cool. So maybe one of the owner actually does triathlon.
Yeah. But now we'll dive into our topic. I think everybody, the main question that I have is if we think that mental blocks ever fully go away, or do we just get better at handling them? And I think that everyone goes through mental blocks, and I think mental blocks will always be there. It's just we build ourselves up to be able to overcome those as we go on, as we go through life.
With experience, you just are more aware of when they're coming in and how to handle them, but they still hit you hard, like just like straight in your face. But why don't you explain why you want to talk about this, because it happened to you today.
Yeah, so I'm nearing my peak week for Ironman training, so the hours are racking up, over 20 hours a week, and I was doing my long bikes on the stationary trainer, which you do get mental blocks, but at least you can have like TV, or you can talk to your family members when they come in, which that's just not how it's going to be during the race. No. It's just you and yourself. Be by yourself, yeah. And that's how it was today. I did my long cycle. It was 5.5 hours outside, and it's just me, myself, and I. And I tried to do no music to kind of simulate like how the training would go. And I didn't fuel properly. I ran out of fuel the last 2 hours, which was not smart. And it just was like, it seemed like time was moving so slow. And that is when the mental block hit me. And it was very rough. But when I was hitting that mental block, I saw 2 red cardinals fly by, actually. And that is, I believe, is my grandma and my aunt flying by. And there's butterflies all over the trail, literally everywhere. I saw monarchs today.
So your grandpa and your uncle?
They're everywhere. Like, they fly past me all the time. And I always see 2 dancing. They're always, like, dancing around each other.
Well, when we went for a walk there, when you were the first time you tried, we saw a lot of butterflies, yes, and we saw tortoise. What do you call them?
Tortoises?
Tortoises.
She's Canadian, so
I always say it in French. Tortoises.
Yes.
Everywhere.
And I actually saw crabs today.
Oh, we did too on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
why? Yeah, why
everywhere? I don't know. But one started running towards me, and I saw a raccoon, and I saw snakes, and a baby snake. So there's a lot of like wildlife on this trail.
It is a wildlife trail.
But like, I don't know, seeing those little reminders is what like helped me get over that mental block.
As long as you don't see a Florida panther, which we're still looking like right behind the camera. That's where we saw one.
Yeah.
So,
but I will bike faster than ever. So, but I think that is what helped me get over my mental block, is seeing that little reminder. But first, I want to talk about like all the aspects, like sports, the training, but also like your work and just, all the aspects of life. So first, your figure skating competitions, or you're just training in general. How old were you when you were a figure skater?
Like competitive? Because I started skating at 3 years old, but clearly I was not competing at that age. But
I just mean 3 to what age did you stop?
I stopped coaching. I was 20, I think.
What was the biggest mental block you faced as a figure skater?
Well, when you can't land the jumps you're supposed to land, or then I went into dance, and the coach keeps repeating to do this way, and you think you're doing it, and then you just, like, you go into your head, it's like, I'm doing it, and then you're just fighting it and fighting the coach, and then eventually you kind of pop out of it and you try what he says, and you're just like, oh, it's working. But that mental part, or you go
not landing over and over and over again, competing.
You need to get out of it and stuff. And I was not even, I competed, but I was not at a high level, but it's still very frustrating, especially that you train with your friends. It's just like skating, swimming, right? So you train with your friends, and your friends outside of figure skating, they go to school with you, and so you're always with them. But when you get to the ice, when you get in the water, you're against them, and then you see them doing what you can't at that moment. And you just, it's all in your head, but you need to, that was that.
Well, the difference between like a lot of sports and figure skating or like dance or gymnastics is it's just you out there. So how did you handle the nerves of performing in front of judges and an audience?
I guess The most stressful moment, I mean, I want to ask you the same question with swimming, but for me, it's when they introduce your name and you get on the ice and then it's dead silence until your music starts. That is the most stressful. You need to very mentally prepare yourself. I can only imagine like the highest level right now, like Olympics and stuff, how you need to just, you're somewhere else. You need to go into your routine, your story that you're going to go and skate. And then the music starts, then you cannot, you learn this as more as you skate, is you don't hear the crowd until the end. If you hear the crowd, you're totally into your head right now. You're not where you're supposed to be, and you're not ready for it mentally. You need to be able to be into your story, into what your performance. And but like I said, if you jump and you fall, it's really hard to get back up and say I need to continue. But as long as you don't hear the audience, for me, that's what helped me.
Were there any mental rituals before you went on the ice, or just like, I don't know, something that you did before performing that got you like focused? You go through your routine. Like you have headphones, you listen to your music. You just visualize it? Yep. And then you do your moves and this and that, and that's what gets you ready. Because when you go in and warm up, you buy flights, right? Like heats, like swimming. And you warm up and you have maybe 5 couples of 5 skaters. And so first you don't want to get hit. You don't want to hit somebody, but the nerves are there. I think that was the most nervous time for me. Yeah. How did skating shape the way you handle challenges in your adult life now? Because I think that many people that did athletics when they were younger, it's impacted their life now, or just shaped them. Yes. It made me realize what kind of coaches I needed in my life. If they were very soft-spoken and just like very forgiving and stuff, unfortunately I would walk all over this and it just wouldn't get me anywhere. Yeah. If I had somebody that was hard, stern, not screaming, well, it could be, but I mean, just pushing, and like your figure skating, like your swim coach, Coach Damien, that kind of like very hardcore person. I realized that's what I needed in my life for anything. And then when I decided to do figure competition, which is kind of like a part of bodybuilding, that's what my coach was doing too, Jessie. Yeah. She was. Well, I'll ask some questions later on about crazy. That. So that was, I realized that's what I needed in my life. If somebody that needed to be pushed, even though I knew what I was doing, whatnot, I needed somebody to just be hard on me, meaning because pushing me to be. You need to show get to your true potential, because when we hit those mental blocks, sometimes you don't see somebody. Yeah, you don't see how far you can go, but they do. And I needed somebody to be just not soft and this will get there. No, I'd say let's go, let's do this. That's what I realized. But also, and I know, as being your mom, I know that you and your sister, while you were swimming or when she was rowing, what helped with the sport, being in a sport, is that you need to really have a good schedule. You need to be, what I want to say, like your what's the word? Consistency. Yeah, but I mean, with your time, discipline. Like you need to be very disciplined with your time, and so that if you really want to have like downtime later on, during the week or the weekend, to just know exactly what I need to do and stuff. So it rolls over into school and your personal life, like that structure, like in a schedule, and you know what's going on and stuff. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I did all that. I have time off, So I think that's what sport helped me, and I know for a fact that it helped you and your sister. Yeah. And now she's going to ask me questions about my swimming. Okay. I swam from 5 years old to, now I'm still swimming, so. You're doing a triathlon, so you're still swimming. So were there times when your mental state mattered more than your physical training and swimming? Yeah. Definitely. I knew the answer, but I had to ask. Definitely, like, my last 3 years of high school, I just hit, like, a burnout. It was, like, I hit a plateau, and I think that I tried to, I think that I needed to stop, and I needed to, like, I had gotten what I needed out of the sport, but I think that, like, everybody's opinions, or I cared more about proving them wrong than listening to my body and my mind, and that was a mistake I made, but now I've learned that lesson, and I can. And now you actually outperform yourself right now more than. Yeah, I think that's great. You finished your career on a high note, though. Yeah.
So it was.
But I remember my coach saying, not my old coach, the one that like had a huge impact on my life, but the new one that came in for the last few years, said that at a swim meet when I didn't perform well because I was hitting a plateau, I was just in my head, and I'd ask him, "What am I doing wrong?" And he'd say, "I don't know." And then he said, maybe it's time to hang up the goggles. But now I'm still swimming with them, so.
There you go. He can go and put it up his ass. Did losing races ever create a mental block for you, and how did you bounce back?
Yeah. When I was swimming against my teammates that you're constantly put head-to-head with by your coach growing up, you see them as friends outside of practice, but you're practicing so much that a lot of the time you see them as your enemy because you're swimming in the morning, you're swimming in the afternoon, so it's constantly like, I love this person, but you're also like, I want to beat you very bad.
Yeah.
But we'd be at the swim meets when I was going through my plateau, and my good coach would literally have to come over and tell me to turn around and not look at the scoreboard when their heats would be up, because I would get into my head and end up not racing well because I would just be constantly thinking about them and not my own race. And now I actually listen to a podcast and I realize that it's me against myself. It's me bettering myself. Like, I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for other people.
It's good. Looking back, what would you tell your younger self about handling mental pressure in swimming, or in any sport, but your sports was swimming?
My coach tried to tell me this a million times, but just to enjoy the journey. And it can be hard to hear when you just see like the numbers and like time drops or time adds, but to really enjoy the journey, because it's going to be worth in the future, everything that you've learned and the person that you became and the friends that you made and the memories. So I would just tell myself to like really just not stress. And it's hard to hear, but really just enjoy it.
You were in your head. I remember that. That was at the end, especially at the end, was a little bit of a problem. Yeah, because I remember we all knew you could do it. We all knew you were prepared, you were ready, because, the day of the race, when you get on the block.
I'd perform in practice. The second I get up on the blocks, it was like.
But they always tell you, like, if you don't, like, the race is won during practice, not the day of. So it's the time, same thing in any sports, but it's the time and effort and everything that you put into that competition you're getting onto. But so when you get on the starting block, that's it. Like, this is the time to perform, and that's when you would just
I would just doubt myself.
The good races that she had, you could see the way she was on her block, and we're like, she's gonna freaking rock it. And then all of a sudden, sometimes we could just see her shoulders going down. We're like, that she's gonna flop that swim. Yeah. And so it was on your head. So.
But for this upcoming Ironman, I've learned that you can trick your brain to because anxiety and excitement give off the same like reaction in your body, and you can trick yourself to think that you're excited when you're not nervous. But also, I think nervousness can be a good thing.
You have to be nervous. You have to be nervous. You have to have some, like,
because the adrenaline is what's going to get me through that day.
Because I love to ask your little sister, like, when we go to swim meets and stuff, and I said, "So, are you a little bit nervous?" Like, I am. Like, I think I have to poop now. Like, she's nervous and she wants to poop. That's good. That's good nerves. That's like you're ready you're anxious, your adrenaline is going up and stuff, you want to go. Yeah. If you would tell me, like, I really don't care, I might go, well, so why are we here? But
I think it would turn from nervousness into just anxiety, and that's not good.
Cool. Okay.
And now we are going to talk about her work as a chiropractor.
Oh.
And then I have a couple more questions about her physique competition.
Oh.
And then you'll ask me questions about my Ironman training. So it's not just you.
Okay, good.
Okay. So first, do you ever face mental blocks in your work, like when helping a patient who isn't improving?
Yes. And I am very lucky to work with a very good group. I have a very good team. It's a multidisciplinary office. So there's other people in the office. There's physical therapists, there's assistant, there's medical doctors, there's functional medicine, who's also a chiropractor. That if it happened a couple weeks ago, and I looked at my patient, and I said, I'm blind. I'm hitting a brick wall. Like, I cannot think about something. I need somebody else. And I did that with your sister too. Like, I need to I need to go ask for a second opinion. Do you mind if I go? And then we took that guy's x-rays back out. I had somebody else look at it. And then at the same time, when, all of a sudden you look at it a second time, but somebody's there with you looking at it, you're just like, oh, that, and then so change of plans, what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. So yes, when there's no improvement, it's just so frustrating because you're just like, oh my God, we were doing so great. And now like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you have good resources, it helps a lot. So.
How do you deal with the pressure of being responsible for someone else's health and healing?
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I love what I do. So that helps. And actually I remind myself that every day. And your sister made me a bracelet for my birthday and she put the letters breathe. And I did ask her, I'm like, what does that mean? Like, why did you put, I didn't understand. And she said, because when you start being nervous or you're frustrated or you don't know like how, like what to do, take a deep breath. And I wear it religiously every day. And I look at it sometimes because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this person, I have a very difficult case that came in last week and I needed all my resources and I had to really make sure that I knew what I was doing in the sense that reviewing all the x-rays, there's certain things I can't do. I can adjust this way or this and that. And, a lot of people don't believe in chiropractic and they think we're not doctors and this and that. And so you have to educate the patient. They have to understand what's going on. Yeah. And then you just, then you explain the treatment plan and you go with it. And it's very stressful. Sometimes it is. And sometimes it's just like straightforward. And then this person does not improve. And you're like, wait a second, like, what am I missing here? So yeah.
Has what you've learned about the body also helped you understand mental resilience?
What do you mean?
Like learning about the body, like how the body functions.
Oh yeah. And that helps that I know how the body functions.
Also, chiropractic care can also help with like anxiety and
yes. Well, this is the misunderstanding about chiropractic is people think we crack bones. I had one that said you break necks. I'm like, and I know she was nervous, but I said no, that would not be good. Usually my patients do walk out on their 2 feet, but not on a stretcher. But we don't crack bones. The crack that you hear is all the air and gas that you have, that air pockets in your ligaments, that when you move them, that's what it releases, that crack sound. It just happens to be that it's a crack sound, But what chiropractors do, actually, we make sure that you're, very simply explain, your nervous system is in your brain, comes out through all little holes, through nerves. From your spinal column. So when you have a vertebrae that's misaligned, it then pinch the nerve, and the nerve could go to your muscles, could go to your organs, could go to, that's what regulates your immune system so that you could get more sick. You cannot, your immune system is not strong enough to beat a bacteria or virus and things like that. So it does affect, like for you being an athlete, you can rehab a muscle as much as you want. If the nerve flow, the nerve that actually feeds that muscle is not properly working, that muscle will never work 100%. So that's a misunderstanding about chiropractors. We don't crack bones. We make sure your nervous system is working properly. So, but having said that, when I explain that to patient and we work together and stuff, and then something happens to me, or you, I get more frustrated because I'm like, I know better. I know what's going on, but God dang it, why is it not working? So it's just
Now we'll go into her physique competition. Just
that
a lot
hard.
Different. But what was the biggest mental block you faced while training for your competition?
It was hard. The food. Yeah, the food was hard.
It's hard.
It's hard because you need to really cut down towards the end. But right. I mean, the first time at my first competition, I don't think I did it the right way. The second time I did better, but then my legs were better the second time, but my abs were better the first time. I mean, it's a lot of tweaking. I mean, it takes a lot of time to make it, work 100% for you, but
there's a bunch of little things you have to focus on.
Yes. But like the food was really hard for me to control, and you have to track everything. It was just, and I had 2 young kids.
Changes.
Yeah, I had 2 young kids too. And I was thinking, like doing homework at night and stuff. And sometimes your brain's just like, I need food, like you couldn't really think and function towards the end.
Yeah.
And then you still need to keep up with the training and the lifting and your life in general and raising your family at the same time. So that was really hard.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever doubt yourself while on stage?
Oh my gosh, the second I stepped on. Actually, when you're backstage and they call you out, and every time I'm asking myself, literally, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I here?
I have a feeling I'm going to do. That's what I did on the day of my triathlon. I have a feeling I'm going to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
I know. I was on stage with the little, bikini thing that covers barely anything, and you're just like, and I'm having people judging my physique right now and the way I'm like posing.
What am I doing here? You chose to like pay for this, and
I know, and it's so stupid. And then they tell you quarter turn to the right because everybody does the same posing first, and then I remembered my first competition. You go and you turn facing it was a purple velvet freaking thing. And I just remembered it says, I was like, I want to go. Can I just leave? Where's the exit? I'm leaving. This is so stupid. And I was really just like, I'm done. Quarter turn to the right. Okay. And it's quarter turn to the right. And I continued, but
got to go through the motions.
And then, it was, what's very nerve wracking is like in the morning, you get ready for all this. And it's just, to cut down half of the people, they only keep like, I don't know. Maybe,
and then you have to do it again at night.
Yeah. So that was like the prelims if you want to. Yes. And then if they don't call your freaking number in line, like first you just like, I worked all this shit. I mean, I felt, okay, I made it every time. But what I'm saying is that, and
you're
I also
waiting for your number and you're like.
Just like, and then it puts you number 3, next to number 7. Okay, so number 7 switched with number 5. And then you're just like, oh my gosh, you're judging us, So I put myself through this. It was a good life experience. I will never do it again.
Was there a time you almost gave up during the training?
Absolutely. Every single time. You can ask Jessie.
Jeez.
Almost every other day. I was like, I'm done. And then you have to practice posing. And that hurts because you have to contract your muscles and you have to stay in that position for so long. And I had somebody helping me to teach me this. He was amazing. And he was there in one of my competitions. I could hear somebody like, your abs, and shit, and all of a sudden, but every other day I wanted to quit. I was just like, this is stupid. Why am I putting, okay, fine. And then,
yeah. But how did you overcome those? Is it the people around you?
Yes. The team, your team. This is who helps you.
But that is all for the physique competition question. She did get first.
I did win on my age group.
And then she got second. She almost got her pro card, pretty much.
Well, the third competition, that's why I was going for my pro card, and then I got pregnant with your baby sister. So that was.
But still really cool and a very good accomplishment.
Yeah.
That is very hard because after I hear that people get severe body dysmorphia. It's just, it's like the mental block continues on after the competition.
Because like, you can't sustain that. You can't. It's not healthy. You can't sustain this low fat mass that you have all the time. But I will tell you, like every time I was done with a competition, you go and eat, and you're just like, I'm gonna eat all this, and then you can't, and then you get sick. I mean, eventually, you get back to it, but for your triathlon, so same questions for you. Okay, that's great.
I got it ready for you because she loves asking me questions.
Yeah. So thank you. So did you read them all?
No, I actually have. Yeah.
Okay, good. So what mental blocks have you run into so far in your triathlon training? Not just triathlon training, because you did one that was Olympic distance, but you're getting ready for Ironman.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I could have done more for my triathlon training, but it was just a small triathlon. For the Ironman training, it
was an Olympic distance.
Well, for this one, this one's like big.
It's like an Ironman.
But
do you want to tell the distances?
So it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and a marathon, 26.2 miles. But my mental block is in the ocean. At first, it was comparing myself to other people's training plans and just saying, like, am I doing enough? Like, I don't know if I'm doing enough. I think I should be doing more. And then I ended up doing way more than I should have. Like, I kind of went from just the build phase to just 2 months of the peak phase. Like, I was doing 2 months of 20-hour training weeks. And that's actually, like, insane because my peak week is supposed to be, like, 21, 22 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just comparing so much that I overtrained and I actually hurt my knee. And that also caused a mental block. But I took time off from running for a week, which that also is another mental block because then you're like, am I not doing enough? And it's just a spiral. But then now I feel like I'm in a good spot where I know that I'm training to the best of my ability and I'm really pushing myself. And yeah.
So when you're on a long bike like today, you just talked about that today, or run, and your body is screaming to stop, what do you say to yourself? Because that's what you've been working on.
Well, there's a David Goggins speech where he said when he's going through those mental blocks during the long runs, he tells himself, like, what if? Like, that is what gets him through, is what if I can be the best in this? Or what if I can go even further than what I was supposed to do today? And like that, I started doing that, and that's what really helped me.
So how about your swimming background? I mean, obviously it helps you with the mental struggles. We talked about that, but this is going to be the first event of the 3 events you're doing. Mm-hmm. How are you going to keep that going?
Well, a mental block for me that I've been just trying to get over is the possibility of the swim getting canceled, because the swim is where I can get ahead and save time up, so that if I do
with no sharks,
so that if there's many sharks, but if I do save up some, or if I do beat most of the girls by a lot of time, because I think my swim will be strong, then the bike I can maybe take it a little bit easier instead of just going out and sprinting and trying to be competitive, so I don't kill my legs for the run. But if the swim is canceled, I need to get over that mental block, because it is a possibility. So
we need to work on that before you get there. Okay. Do you think mental strength matters more than physical training for endurance events?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so too.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of people can do an Ironman with, obviously, you have to do training so you don't injure yourself, or go into shock for your body. But I think there's many people that can do an Ironman. It's just they don't have the mental capability to do it yet.
Well, I think it's the same thing when you were swimming. You were not really a long distance swimmer. Your sister was more, but when you had to swim a mile, like you see Katie Ledecky, where are you mentally? Halfway through, holy shit, I still have another 10 minutes to swim. So
you kind of just have to almost black out.
Yeah, go somewhere else in your brain. So what has been your hardest breakthrough moment so far in training?
I would say running, because cycling, I mean, it's a very new thing for me, but I think that I've built that up very strong. Running was the hardest thing for me, because I always hated running as a swimmer. Hated it. I always try to get out of it. I always walked when we had to run. But my biggest breakthrough was doing the 18 miles that I did last week, and in the 104-degree heat. And I didn't think I was going to make it through, and I did. So
yeah. That was good. That was awesome. I was a little concerned. I'm not going to lie.
My heart rate reached pretty far up.
It was terrible, and you stopped in one, and then you were white and drenched, and it was pretty scary. But yeah,
I'm okay.
So she's okay. Yeah. Wow, is she?
But that is pretty much all we have for this episode. Sorry, it's getting dark. Started to get dark pretty fast, so I don't know if you guys can see us very clearly if you're watching the video. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and this maybe helps you if you're going through a mental block, or
if you have an event or something you're working for, even if it's for work or something like that.
It's all gonna during the race. There's probably gonna be a point where you do reach your mental block, but remembering that how good it's gonna feel when you push through and you finish, and it's gonna be such an accomplishment after. So
even if it's the first and last time you do it, you're going to be able to say, I did it. So
no matter what it is.
Even it could be a presentation
or
for work.
A school assignment too. Just give it your all, and once you receive that good grade, it'll feel really good.
Yeah.
And don't procrastinate like me. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Our episodes come out every Sunday at 9 a.m., maybe a little bit later, depending on when I post it. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok. A Coffee Break with Cat Mom. The Insta is @coffee.break. TikTok is @coffee_break. And like and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. We'll see you next week.